Hey, this is Luke with another Android Guys podcast. I'm here with Scott.
Hey, Luke.
You have a product to talk about today.
Me has a product.
All right, what do you got?
I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Gamesir X3 Controller.
This thing looks pretty sweet.
It is pretty sweet.
All right, tell us about it.
Are you a mobile gamer?
I do like a mobile game.
Which one?
I've been known to like the mobile games.
I like to dabble in mobile gametry.
Yeah.
I like mobile games.
Yes.
I don't love mobile gaming beyond casual tap here and there, drag your finger, swipes, things like that.
Sure. Not like a real-time game.
Can't do like Fortnite and those types of games that are battle royale style or third person, first person shooters. And that's because I don't like playing with just a display. I need buttons.
Right.
Even with D-pads and games where you can kind of put your finger down wherever you want and drag it.
Yeah.
It'll just automatically give you A and B wherever you place your finger.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with that to a degree, and then I just kind of say, it's
still not a joystick.
I've just grown up and played for decades of having a D-pad and 2 or 4 buttons, some shoulder triggers, things like that.
More tactile in your gameplay.
I need that.
Yep.
And
I get that.
So that kind of keeps me from being a mobile gamer in that sense. Now, Gamesir, which has been around for a while.
Yeah.
And they've done this in the past. They've had multiple versions of these controllers. The X3 is a controller that is it's not a Bluetooth one that you pair to your phone. You will actually kind of dock your phone in this. It's got a USB-C plug.
Okay.
So you'll put your phone on that and you'll pull the 2 controllers or the handles, kind of pull them apart, put your phone down in the center so that it creates like a Nintendo Switch.
Gotcha.
Kind
so
of
it's like a spring-loaded kind of thing?
Yep.
Okay.
Spring-loaded, you pull them apart, like if the Joy-Cons on a Switch.
Yeah.
And then you will put your C port in there, and then it'll bite to, fit. It fits most phones.
Nice.
They do say specifically like what size. I want to say it's like 110 to 179 millimeters. There's some I don't know for sure, but it is on the box. It does say like how big, but what I find is it's pretty much all phones.
Yeah, it's most phones on the market. If you have maybe a very outside edge case, really long phone or really short phone, it might not work.
Yeah, you might want to just take it out of the case if it's adds just a little bit too much bulk to it. But so once you put it in there, then you have you've got D-pad on the left, you've got A, B, X, Y on the right, and you've got your thumbstick kind of analogs, and so you can play your games. And in the box, or it comes in its own like carrying case. You also get some other thumbsticks that are a little bit longer.
Sure.
So if you like it to rise up a little bit and meet you, they're ever so longer. They're red and blue. They look like the Nintendo Switch kind of color palette. The unit itself is white. Also in the box, you have another D-pad that you can basically pull off that 4-way and put on like an Xbox kind of control.
So
like
it has
8.
it has the diagonals in there.
Yeah, okay. It looks kind of like a fractal, maybe like a star kind of.
Yeah.
But so you can put those on there. The buttons are kind of they have some bite to them. Yeah. But they're kind of held in there with magnets, so you can pop them out on the fly. You can carry them around in the case. Put the controller in there. You also have a USB-C cable that comes with it. This guy also has a fan in it.
Interesting.
Or kind of in the back side of it. So it can keep your phone cooler.
Nice.
If you're doing longer gaming sessions. There's a caveat.
Okay.
To do that, you're going to want to be plugged in.
To
use the fan at the same time as gaming.
Sure.
You do have a USB-C plug on the center of it to do that. When you are using the fan, it lights up and it looks pretty pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like this controller. There are a bunch of games. If you go to Gamesir's website, it basically has a page you can go to that says these are all games that are certified or recommended to play with.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of those games that, you think of like, oh, yeah, this definitely makes sense to have a controller. It feels right. The buttons are in the right spot. The D-pad, like when you grab it, it feels like kind of like a Joy-Con kind of thing. And it makes kind of opens up the door to a whole bunch of other games that I might not otherwise play on my phone.
Sure.
And because a lot of today's phones are more than enough to handle the kind of games that are out there,
right?
You don't have to get into something that's like a Republic of Gaming phone,
right?
Something that's a high end Red Magic or something.
Yeah.
So this guy's about $100.
Okay.
And I think that it's definitely...
And it's electronic in that there's a fan that runs and some lights, you said, but it doesn't have a battery.
Right. You can charge it up.
Mm-hmm.
It has a battery, but it doesn't, like, you can't use it to charge your phone.
Okay.
I'm looking at, if you look at the compatible games, there's Diablo Immortal.
Oh, yeah.
Apex Legends Mobile, Fortnite, and there's 60 some pages of titles. I want to say there's more than that. I thought maybe 80. But so a lot of the games that you would normally see with D-pads and directions, and that's just the ones that are supported. I'm sure there are plenty that.
Right.
But if you're the kind of person that's like, oh man, I like to play those games and I've got a cloud account and I want to pick up and play with my phone, but I don't like the idea of touching a flat screen.
Right.
There is some feedback in a lot of games that you will get vibrations and stuff.
Yeah.
But there's something to being able to kind of feel that controller and twist your finger and kind of get that bite back.
Now, when you plug in the USB-C into the unit, does that also charge your phone then too?
No, not that I experienced.
Okay.
So it's a pretty cool device that has its own battery that's going to allow for that. I don't know what kind of life it has on there. Let me see if I could get you that information.
I'm just thinking if I'm playing a game or a longer play session, something like Diablo Immortal, which we've talked about previously, sometimes you can sit down and play that game for a couple hours. And I found that, I really just had my phone plugged in while I was playing because it would take a lot of resources.
I believe it's passed through. So
it won't charge your phone by itself, but if you do have it plugged in USB-C, it might pass through and charge your phone while you're playing.
Yeah, tutorials. Yeah, let me take a look here real quick.
It looks really nice. It looks like, from the picture, at least on there, on the packaging.
Yeah,
it kind of looks like it was made, like it almost looks like a one unit thing. With the phone that they have in there, makes it look like a Switch almost.
Yeah.
It's very, very well designed, very cool looking.
And there are also in the package, there are 4 like rubber covers that you can put over the D-pad or the analog thumbsticks.
Yeah. Okay.
So they have like a little bit of extra grip. So if you like the feel of that,
mm-hmm.
makes them a little larger. And then the handles themselves, when you reach around the back, they have a slight texture to them.
Yeah.
So there's like a non-slip kind of feel.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool, and we've done we've had a handful of different Gamesir products come through us. This is the first time that I've been able to spend some time with one of them, and so far, man, it really kind of makes me feel like I should consider setting aside a phone for certain games, because when I was playing, I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. I see why these games are so popular on mobile.
Sure.
I just don't like playing it this way.
Yeah.
But now with something like this, kind of carry that with me. That's plenty portable enough to take with me on a weekend, or if I'm going to, staying at a hotel or somewhere where I'm going to have some downtime, that might be a different kind of gaming experience.
Sure.
So, yeah, there's a handful of those at Gamesir's website. That's Gamesir.hk. I gave this thing overall, I think, a 4.1.
Nice.
So yeah, it's pretty much 4s across the board, and then the 4.5, extra bump for the features and functions.
Yeah.
Just because it has like
that fan's a nice touch.
Yeah, and yeah, you know how phones get warm pretty
Especially
quickly.
if you're playing a game. Most of those real-time games where you really want the D-pad and the shoulder buttons and stuff, those are processor and graphic intensive games most likely. So
Yep.
That'll heat your phone up real quick.
Yes, sir. So yeah, Gamesir, and this is the X3, and it's a Type-C plug-in, so it's not a Bluetooth, and that for some people that might be like, oh, that doesn't make much sense. I don't want to plug it in, or my phone doesn't have that.
Mm-hmm.
One of the benefits to that is zero latency.
Right.
You've got that full response where you
Right.
don't have to worry about, oh, my connection is kind of lagging. And,
Yeah.
And if you're playing those games, lag is your enemy.
That's right.
So, yep, Gamesir X3.
Awesome. Thanks, Scott.
You're welcome. All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the podcast.
Thanks for listening.
We appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, feedback, concerns, comments, anything, shoot us an email at podcast@AndroidGuys.com. We'd love to hear from you one way or the other. Luke, if someone wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
I am on Instagram and Twitter at Luke Gaul, Gaul.
And I'm on Instagram at Scott Webster and Twitter as SWebster77. Until next time, thanks for listening.
See ya.